I just like to know, like, why is it that black people feel it's okay to put each other down in fucking public? And I don't mean just, and what's worse, I mean, how could I say? Because really, when people are online and they're just typing away, people just seem to get this extra oomph of courage, confidence, and I don't give a fuck kind of attitude because ain't nobody else there. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm here. I can say whatever the fuck I want. So I'm gonna get into it now, right? I'm noticing something. I really am, and I get it. I get where these women are coming from. I really do. I get it. I really understand. But it's like black folk are the only fucking people that will publicly put their own people down, and they don't see an issue with that shit. Like, it's just it's a thing to just go and say black males, black men, black boys, black anything with a penis is toxic, it's negative, is this and that, bad, criminals, whatever, whatever. What? And I'm not gonna say like black dudes don't do it because they be the main ones be doing that shit. No one's even asking their fucking opinion. Black women are shit. Like, okay. Okay, bitch, like I get it. You have like a issue with your own self. That's really where the shit lines up to. Because bro, you'll never hear white people, you'll never hear Hispanic people, Hispanic women are the scum of the earth. Like, you'll never hear that shit. Ever. At least not publicly. They may say that shit in the comfort of their own homes, like, bro, like, my fucking bitch crazy. I mean, yo, they'll say some shit like that. Like, they fucking crazy or whatever. And I get that, because women in general can be fucking crazy. Now, what leads me to this topic? I'm on a YouTube video, and it's basically like women of affluence. Like, it's, you know, some femininity type of shit where you're, I don't even know what the video was named. I'm not gonna put who fucking said it or whatever, but I think it was basically like about how to take your power back or some shit. Something about with women. And this girl, who's black, of course, and she says, one thing we need to do is stop with, you know, this loyalty to toxic black males. This was not a video about race. It was just saying women in general need to take back their fucking power. And I get why they would bring that up, because it's like, you know, how could I even say this shit without even sounding fucked up? Black women like myself, I am sexually attracted to black men. I can't help it, bro. Y'all fine, y'all sexy. I can't fucking help it. You got dreadlocks, you got hair in your head, you got a beard. Ooh, don't even get me fucking started. You can't. But it's like, I can't ignore the fact that some of y'all ain't shit. I can't downplay the fact that of what they've been through, what black women in general have been through. So I had to keep that in mind when I replied onto this shit. So what I said was, you, how can I say it? Like, you can't, oh, if you have any sort of love for any toxic male, it's something wrong with you, bro. You got low self-esteem issues and you need self-love. And everybody was coming down my throat and blah, 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 saying, well, it's only black women who have this sort of, you know, cling to black males. Black males are awesome, bro. Just like us. We're awesome. And it's just like, I can't ignore that we're awesome as a people. We have our faults. Like, I mean, come on, bro. Like, slavery was a thing. It happened. If you think that that shit didn't affect us in any way, how, like, our ancestors toiled and, you know, they just trailblazed through all that shit, still making all these amazing accomplishments in history and physicality, of course. Like, you can't, like, come on, bro. Like, you can't. You can't deny or ignore that shit. So where was I going with that? I always do this when I'm talking. I like go here, I go there, but I try to like center myself and come back to the topic of discussion. Damn. Fuck. um, Black people as a whole in this society, because if you can't tell by my accent, like I'm American, it's just a lot pushed down our throats to hate ourselves. It's true. It's a lot. Starting from media, starting from when you are a damn child. As soon as you pop out your mom's vagina, you're gonna feel some type of way about yourself. You're not even gonna realize it's being done. Like, I can remember a time where I was a child and I was talking to my mom, and you know how, like, when you're sitting in front of the window, the sun is shining through it. So I'm looking at my arm and I'm seeing like the shaded part where the sun ain't shining on it, and then the so-called lighter side because of the sun was shining on it. And I said to her, I wish my skin looked like this and not that. I don't know how old I was. I was probably like 7 or 6. And the way she looked at me, I was like, God damn. My mom did a lot to try to bring me up as somebody who loved herself. And honestly, I did. When I was, well, at least I thought I did. I mean, shit, when I was a kid, I remember myself with this light, this confidence, this I don't give a shit kind of attitude. Like, bro, you couldn't tell me a goddamn thing back then. You could not. But even in the midst of that, I still made that comment about my own skin. Still made that comment about my own fucking skin tone. I'll get back to what the people are saying because I'm really like, I'm trying to make it all tie in together. All right. I would just go into the text, not the text, the YouTube, the thing, but I tried to do it before and the recording was shut off. Damn you, fucking Android phones. Somewhere on the lines of, after I made the comment of, after the girl said, hey, Black women are the only ones that are like this, who have this sort of like loyalty to Black men. And I'm like, true that, bro. Fucking true that. But I said, best believe though, the niggas that's coming out of this vagina, my children, are gonna look like me. Black as fuck. And then some other girl, she said like, oh, well, you could date interracial. She was like, no, she said date interracial, marry interracial. I was like, I'm not even into marriage like that. I mean, I don't know. Something about that shit's kind of weird to me. Government saying when you're actually married and when you're not. It's not recognized if you don't have this fucking piece of paper that says you are married. So what I said was, I was like, I'm trying to remember what the girl even said. She was, fuck, guys. I'm really trying. Like, I wish I had the notes. I mean, to me, it wasn't that serious for me to go and like copy what I was saying, like photocopy it onto a piece of paper so I could read the shit out to you. It didn't seem that serious or that important to me. I'm just gonna go off the top of the head with it. So what did she say? She said, "Oh, just stay." Oh, she said, "Just marry interracial." I'm like, no, bro. Like, I'm not doing that shit. If that's not what I'm really attracted to, I'm not doing that. Like, I've dated white guys. I went on 2 dates with 2 different white dudes. One date with one white guy, and another guy, the other guy was one other date. Both of them are Jewish, and I still find that weird. I'm like, why the fuck do I only attract white dudes that are Jewish? I don't fucking know. That's weird. But personally, like, I just couldn't see myself with a white guy because at the end of the day, can you raise a black child? When a nigga comes home from school crying about some shit that happened to him because of his skin tone, because of the fact that his hair is a certain curl pattern or whatever, or people accusing him of doing shit because of what he looks like, what are you gonna say? Oh, like, that's not why. Like, that can't be why because you're black. What? No. I just feel like that would be a reason why I couldn't date a white guy because, or not even white, just Hispanic, whoever. I've dated Hispanic dudes too. Like, yeah, whatever. I've dated them. But I just feel like if it's not that same sort, like, if you can't understand what the fuck I'm going through, if I tell you some shit, the first thing you're gonna do is try to push it down because, for one, you're white, bro. You know what the hell be going on. If you don't want to admit to that, I understand. Who the hell wants to be associated with all the things that white people have done in the past? So I get the cognitive dissonance. What I don't get is the cognitive dissonance with these women in this fucking comment thread. I could not wrap my head around that shit. So after I said, no, bruh, I want black children. That's what I want. So some other black woman, she says, oh, I married a white guy and whatever. You could just adopt. She acting like I ain't never thought about this shit. Like, I always thought of adopting. Even if I have my own kids, I would still like to adopt because, man, being in like the fostering system, that's fucked up. All the shit that they go through. A lot of times the foster parent don't treat them the same like their own kids because it's not theirs or whatever. But it's like, bro, if you low-key, bring this child into your house, you're supposed to treat them with love. That's the whole reason. It's not for the fact of you putting a roof over their house so you can get a $300 check. I don't know how much they get, but like, come on, bro. Where the fuck was I going with that? Oh yeah, she said, oh, you could just adopt. Now, this is the shit that got me, that drove me up the fucking wall. I'm like, how the fuck could you say something like that? She says, not only should you just adopt, but just adopt black girls. Black girls? Just adopt black girls? Bro, there's something wrong with you. And that's what I said to her. I'm like, only black girls? What about black boys? It's hard being black. It's because they know who the fuck we are. I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole nother, can to open up. And this video is going to be too long. And I could split it up into a different one. But because they know who we are, they have to, put all of these subliminal messages into our brains from a very young age that there's something wrong with us, but really something is wrong with them. The fact that you even gotta go through all of this brainwashing and you know, ethnic cleansing of the media. Bro, all over the world, they're like, if you were to go to India right now, their Bollywood movies, I love Bollywood, by the way. Their Bollywood movies, the on the forefront, the face of India is what they call fair or whatever. That's, a light white Indian person. I didn't know that there were black people in Brazil until I was watching this medical show that was based in Brazil. I don't know about. I don't think it was based there, but I was flipping through the channels and it was talking about how I think it was maybe like a medical show, like where paramedics would come or something like that. Anyways, paramedics was called, and I knew it was Brazilian people because they were speaking a different language and they were just whatever. I didn't know that black people were there. I didn't know that because on TV they make it seem like there are no black people there. Although it's fucking 60%. 60% of the population, but they don't show not one motherfucker that's as black as me there on television. Like, what the hell? Not only that, like other not Caribbean countries, South American countries, they don't do that shit. In Mexico, they don't do that shit. So I'll continue with the story. Some guy, they had to call the doctor for this guy to take him to the hospital because he had bed sores about the size of like a bowling ball. It was fucking huge. So they went into the room and they turned the guy over. And it was horrible. Like, it was like, I can't even believe they put that shit on TV without a thing. Anyways, I couldn't get over the fact of how black he was. He looked like he was probably a couple shades lighter than my dress. He was black as fuck, speaking Portuguese just like them. And I'm like, what? They have black people over there? But not only do they have black people over there, they're 60% of the population. There's more dark-skinned people in the world than there are lighter-skinned people, at least naturally. Because you know how that goes with the fucking bleaching and people who purposely stay out of the sun. I'm going off topic again, but I'm bringing myself back. But the shit gave me a headache. It took me a while to even reply because I could not believe that woman, a grown-ass woman, black woman, said, you should only adopt black girls. Aside from how the fuck you feel about black men or a race of people, because like, okay, what if I were to say, oh, you should adopt every child except Asian people because they're bad. That's a child. Children don't do shit. They come here to this world pure. They come here pure as like what? Pure as unfluoridated water. They come here very pure. So why the hell are you taking your baggage out on a child? Is fucked up. Is very, very fucked up. I'm not going to say that how this woman feels is like a big, what do you call it? A big, a big portion of how black women feel on a large scale. I won't say that. But I know where that's coming from. And what the fuck I said to her in a few words. Because I wrote a long ass paragraph. I was pressed. I'm like, how dare you say some shit like that? How fucking dare you? Like, that is a baby. Now I can remember one thing I said. I said, if you treat a girl different from a boy in terms of good and bad, they're going to notice that shit. They're going to take note of that. You treat a boy different from a girl, they're going to take note of that shit. And it won't be in a good way, because you know what they're going to do when they grow up? They're going to remember that shit, blame you, resent you, and never going to want to fuck with you. Never. And I said that you clearly got some fucked up daddy issues. And I admit it to myself, because I'm not one of those types that could just point the finger at people and not bring in my own self about it, because I was there. I had issues with my dad for the longest time. But until I let that shit go, and I had to make a conscious choice. Now this is coming into some of the things that I typed and said. Like, I had to make a conscious choice to forgive my dad, to forgive, black guys who have treated me wrong. But then I can't, even because I allowed that shit. I really did allow most of that shit because I didn't have self-love. All these things, all these issues that a lot of black women have with men in general, I mean life in general too. Like, if you don't have no fucking self-love, but we're talking about, love right now. We ain't talking about life shit. I could go on to that later. If you don't have no self-love, you're going to let people treat you any kind of fucking way. And you're going to blame other men and people for treating you any type of fucking way. But it's like, when you're a kid, though, you can't really control that. Like, you just... And that's the worst part about it. Because you don't... They have this thing, like, your parents, when they treat you fucked up, the kid doesn't hate the parent. They start to hate themselves. Because it's like, you my parent. You are supposed to love me. You brought me into this world. You low-key are my God. But you treating me shit? Like fucking shit? How the hell do you think that makes a child feel? And I brought up my own, past shit that I went through with my dad. And then she was like, girl, you said a mouthful. I was like, you're damn right I did. I had to let you know, bro, that shit ain't cool. It's not flying with me, bro. And if you could see how many of these fucking dumbass women liked the shit that she said about, just getting with, adopting only black girls, like, it was sad. It really was fucking sad to see how some of us are in our own fucking mind. Like, you get with a guy who treats you better than a white man. I mean, than a black guy or whoever, and suddenly you could throw dirt completely on black men, and not only black men, but black boys, black children, bruh. I just couldn't believe that shit. I could not. I even told my mom, and she was like, I don't know why you be online talking to these people. I don't know either. I don't do it as much as I used to, because, bro, I used to be, like, horrible. Like, I used to be like, I have to reply. I have to say something. But now it's like, I don't have to. I really don't have to. And it wasn't even me arguing. It was just me, like, trying to, like, just see where the fuck you coming from. And I was right, because the girl was like, yeah, I had, issues with my dad and whatever. And I was like, bro, you need to heal that shit. Because clearly you didn't had, the past tense. She was saying, I had issues. No, bro, it's still there. If you hold in, a grudge against a child, a black child, because he's a boy, bruh, it's because you have issues and you need to figure that shit out. Do some heart chakra healing. Go and call your daddy up. Cuss his ass out. Cry about it. And then tell him, I forgive you. That's how you get over that shit. That's the only way. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. The hurt and the anger is not going to happen overnight. Believe me. But that's the start. Telling the nigga you forgive him for all the shit that he did. so that you can move on. And that's what I said to her. I'm like, I had to make a very conscious choice to let go all of that shit because I knew that I wanted black children, blacker to berry, and that's what I said. And I didn't want to bring in any baggage towards my children. I'm still working on myself. I'm working on loving myself now. Forgiveness of other people is so much easier than, loving your own self. So this is like my last step. But you know what? This is what my whole channel is about. Having self-love. I'm not completely 100% there yet. Like, I'm not going to lie and say, oh, I'm there. I love myself 110%. Bruh, but it's okay. We can get there together. We can get there together. I had a friend of mine, and she told me, you always see, like, what you call them shits? Trainers. People who help you work out and to lose weight and whatever. And she's not fat. She's not huge. She's just like stocky or whatever. And she's like, I want to be a trainer. But I also want to be a trainer now while I'm in this physical state right now. So that you can see that this shit is working for me. Because if we doing it together, you're going to see me losing weight and I'm going to see you losing weight. That'll be our motivation for each other because I'm here to help you. And by seeing you losing your weight, for damn sure I'm losing weight because I'm helping you. So that's how I'm seeing it with, the start of this channel, Divine Adrita. That's who I am, by the way. I didn't even introduce myself. Fuck, whatever. I was just in that mood where I just had to get all this shit out. But really, it's just like, it's too much. It's too much shit that we already gotta, go through. We don't need this extra shit. We don't need to have all of our fucking shit on the forefront. For what? Who the hell does that benefit? I can tell you who it benefits. The people who clearly don't want us together as a people. And this ain't a black channel, so don't even fucking go there. It's not. This is part of it, though. Because I don't know who needs self-love more. That's hard to say. Everybody needs self-love. Otherwise, half this shit wouldn't even be a thing, right? But I'm black, so I can't really speak on anybody else because I don't know what the fuck y'all go through on a daily basis. People who aren't black, you feel me? But I know the self-hate that we have for ourselves and for each other is so out there. It's like your heart chakra is like fucking crying out like, hey bro, I have to put this shit out on the forefront because my heart, your heart is like, hello, I'm here, can you heal me now please so I can get the fuck on with my life? And then once you break through that heart chakra shit, then everything else comes in line, bro. Everything else. That's why, bro, balance is so great. I don't know where else I can go with this. Just the fact that, man, like, if you have any sort of feeling towards black dudes, I get that shit 110%. I get it. But to hold on to that, hold on to anger towards anybody, that shit ain't good for you. It's like how they say hate, anger, and all that shit is like holding on to poison for somebody else, but drinking that shit, expecting them to feel that shit. It's pointless. It's dumb. It's fucking dumb. It really is dumb. Alright, I think I'm about done talking. But I do want to see if I have something else that I want to say before I go. Let me see. I think I'm about done. Yeah, because I went on long enough. Alright, well, y'all, thanks for watching my first official YouTube video on this channel, Divine Najida. I have another one, but if you ain't into weird shit, you may not even be interested. Alright, love y'all. Peace.